This is why women piss me off, bro. If I'm communicating to you that I don't like something, how the f that make me an insecure man?
It's not your girl, it's just your turn. And I'll never forget that.
This is why women don't like dealing with with the type of men that try to shame women, try to control women in this way, because they all follow in the same line.
So this is the story of how my baby daddy tried to kill me in North Carolina and threatened to kill me and dispose of my body in the swamps of Carolina.
I don't care how men try to laugh this off or act like this is like, I don't know, cool or whatever you want to say. I will never fall for this propaganda. Like, men need to really understand what boundaries are. Men don't understand what boundaries are. Boundaries are for you, not for the other person. You telling a woman that like you don't like her to go to the bar or the club, that's not a boundary. You see what I'm saying? That a boundary is for you. A boundary is your around your like how like your behavior. What you know what I mean? It's not for other people. It's like you don't tell that's my boundary. What do you mean? How is that your boundary? How are they infringing on your boundaries by them doing something that they want to do? I'm not saying you don't have a right to say you don't like certain things. I'm just saying like that's not I don't believe that's a boundary or an example of one. But men trying to use that idea to manipulate women and to do, and like basically just trying to control women. That I mean, that's really all it is. Like that's all they want to do, right? Man, it's just so weird. Like I just can't. I think because my relationship is so different, like how my wife is, how I view my wife. Like I don't like tell my wife that she can't dress a certain way. You know what I'm saying? I mean, especially like if she's dressing like sexy or whatever the case may be, or tight clothes or whatever. Like I would never tell my wife like, "Hey, aren't you showing a little bit too much skin?" If my wife wanted to go out, within reason, but if she wanted to like go out and go to the winery or the bar or the club or whatever without me or whatever, wouldn't care. Doesn't bother me one bit. Um, and I'm not saying everybody has to feel like that, but I do think that in most cases it does show a level of insecurity um in men when they do that with their women. And that insecurity a lot of times is like the tip of the iceberg, and then there's like, there's like way more underneath that. And I think that that is a genuine concern of women, and that's why women respond the way that they respond oftentimes to men that try to, you know, tell them like, oh, I don't like it when you wear that. I don't like it when you go here, and things of that nature.
This is why women piss me off, bro. If I'm communicating to you that I don't like something, how the fuck that make me an insecure man? How that make me insecure? How did I just because I don't like you being a slut, bro? I just don't like you out here doing health things with your health friends.
Like, what does that mean? Being a slut. Now, I'm gonna give you an example of what this looks like in real life, because women always have receipts on men doing the thing that they say that we do. They always do. Men, we never have receipts. Like we never catch the women doing the things that we claim goes both ways. We never have the receipts, right? But women, they have receipts for this all the time, and I share them all the time because I think it's like at this point it's hilarious almost. Like they're just running up the score. City Girls is up by like 100,000 on this in this field. But yeah, let me show you what this type of man looks like. To me, this is what they look and sound like. Like he could try to play it off and put some funny music behind it. And what do you mean? We just no. I don't buy any of that shit. This is what y'all really look and sound like.
More fingers in you tonight than a rented bowling ball.
I'm gonna have more fingers than me than a rented bowling ball.
Yeah.
Nice. I'm excited.
Banged more times than a screen door in tornado. I heard a phrase, I'll never forget it. It says, "It's not your girl, it's just your turn." And I'll never forget that shit. You come back and lay with my son. They're not fucking having all this dude shit dripping off you and shit. I don't like that. Go out and be a hoe, that's fine, but don't bring up being a hoe back to my son.
Exactly. So going to a concert in men's minds is hoe behavior. That's what I'm saying. Y'all, because being a hoe is vague and it's stupid, and you guys try to shame women because I don't even think nothing wrong with being a hoe. To be honest with you, if that's what she want to be. That's what she want to be. Let her live her life. Let her live her life. And I get it in a relationship that could be problematic, but you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, like, in general, y'all be trying to shame hoes for being hoes, and I'm like, but y'all made them hoes. Like, y'all are they clients. So why are you like, you love hoes? You know what I mean? What the fuck? But you try to weaponize that against women because we have, I think we've successfully propagandized women into putting down other women for promiscuous behaviors, right? And it's something that I had to learn to unpack as well. Like, I don't put women down or anybody down, to be honest with you, for being promiscuous. Like, as long as it's consensual and they're not being manipulative, do whatever you want to do. Protect yourself and have fun. I don't care. But that is what I think of when I think of, like, the whole, like, you want to go be a hoe. Just like, look, remember what he said. Remember, this was his take. This was his take.
Piss me off, bro. If I'm communicating to you that I don't like something, how the fuck that make me an insecure man? How that make me insecure? How did I just because I don't like you being a slut, bro? I just don't like you out here doing hoe things with your hoe friend.
Mm-hmm. And remember, this is what the narcissistic boyfriend said.
Go out and be a hoe, that's fine, but don't bring up being a hoe back to my son.
What, bar for bar, line, word for word, bar for bar. That's what I'm saying. Like, so you don't want to be viewed as a narcissist, I'm sure, right? Because y'all hate when women accurately call you who you are, right? And I'm sure you'll bend yourself into a pretzel to rationalize saying you don't want a woman to go to a bar, or to go to a concert, or to dress a certain way. You will call her a hoe and all of that stuff. And then when she accurately calls you a narcissist, you're gonna fold up. You're gonna fold up like origami. How dare you call me? You're a fucking narc. You're a narc. But so the first guy is step number 1. This is step number 2. And then this is step number 3 in that behavior. And this is why women don't like dealing with with the type of men that try to shame women, try to control women in this way, because they all follow in the same line.
Okay, so this is the story of how my baby daddy tried to kill me in North Carolina and threatened to kill me and dispose of my body in the swamps of Carolina, where my mother would never find me, as he said. So pretty much, as far as the abuse, it was always abuse that started due to the fact I was trying to leave. So it would be, I'm finding out he's cheating, there's disrespect, whether if it's him calling me out of my name, whatever the case may be, and me saying, I'm done, I want to go, I don't want to do this relationship. And he would go into a fit of rage. He'd strangle me, choke me, whatever, punch me, spit on me, whatever it took is what he would do. And it had gotten to the point where he thought that he could control me with money, but the only thing is that I had money myself, so it never worked out for him that way. So he would start to take my wallet, because it would be things where he'd say, oh, leave the house. And it's like, okay, I'll go get a hotel, or I'll go get an apartment, or I'll drive off, I'll leave, I have a car. So he would start getting angry at that. So he would take my keys, he'd take my wallet. And on this particular day, I don't remember.
That's physically abusive, by the way. Taking somebody's property so that they can't leave is the same as blocking the door. You're you know what I'm saying? You're essentially blocking their exit. They can't go. So you're restraining them. It's like kidnapping almost, right? You're not physically grabbing them, but it's the same. I mean, what's the difference?
I don't remember exactly what happened. It had to be cheating or something to that effect. But he took my my wallet. But I had gotten so used to this that
hold on. Mind you, he's cheating on her. That's hold on. So she caught him cheating, and this is what he did in response to her catching him cheating.
I started carrying my ID and my bra. I don't remember what happened as far, I think I only had cash or something like that, but I didn't have any cards. So anywho, he had finished his little tantrum of putting his hands on me. I laid down on the bed, acted like everything was okay, and then when I got the chance, I walked out of the Airbnb. And the first person that I called was his mom. I had a good relationship with his mom. I loved his mom. I looked at her as a second mother, and she was my main point of support. And I say that lightly. And that was because when you're in an abusive relationship and you're kind of not ready to leave, it's like, or you're not in a position to leave. For me, I wasn't in a position to leave because he had moved us across the country. So we're from California. He moved us to Georgia. And pretty much it was like I was filled with embarrassment. I didn't want to move back with my family. I had gotten rid of my apartment, sold my car. At that point, it was like, what would I go back to? So
Every time the abusers separate the women from their support system, try to separate, if they can, have them depend on them financially. Like you see the pattern? It's all the same pattern.
I stayed, and I couldn't tell my family because obviously they wouldn't like him, and obviously they would probably, do something to stop this. So I kept a relationship with her, and she's the person who I called when he put his hands on me, or she's the person that I talked to when things went wrong. And I felt like, okay, maybe she can separate it being her son, from right and wrong, and maybe give me some sound advice. And to be honest, I was hoping that she would. Sometimes I was hoping that she would tell me to leave or that I deserved better, but that never happened. So I'm walking down the street of Wilmington. I'm talking to her. I'm crying. I'm upset. I'm telling her, he just choked me. He just beat me. Can you please get me a ticket? I have cash on me. I will pay you as soon as I land in California. And she's like, what's wrong? What's going on? And I'm telling her what happened. And she's like, FaceTime me. So I'm walking down the street. And at this time, iPhones didn't tell us when people were snapshotting, but it still would light up the sides of the phone. So I'm walking down the street and she's like snapshotting me, and I'm like, are you snapshotting me? And then it clicked in my head, she's trying to take a picture of where I am. And I said, are you taking a picture of my background so you could tell him where I am? And she was like, oh, it's just dangerous out there. You don't know the area, and da-da-da-da-da-da, and all this bullshit, basically. And I'm like infuriated at this point, and I'm also feeling so alone and don't really know what to do, but I end up hanging up on her. And I think I call my cousin and ask her to get me an Airbnb, or not an Airbnb, an Uber to the airport. And I just figured, you know what, I'll just sleep at the airport and I'll figure it out. I'll figure out some way between now and tomorrow to get this flight. So pretty much I end up getting the Uber, and then she's calling me back to back to back to back. I'm not answering her calls. I realized now, mind you, while I'm waiting for the Airbnb, his car's coming down the street and the Airbnb is coming at the same time. I'm on the opposite side. Luckily, I get into the Airbnb before he's able to make a U-turn, but he follows the Uber. I keep saying the Airbnb. He follows the Uber. And so he's following us to the airport. So I get on the phone and I'm telling her, can you please have him stop following? I answer the phone and tell her this, and she's like, he's not going to let you leave, Janae. He's not going to let you leave. It's dangerous. He's sorry, blah, 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 blah,
blah. A lot of mothers would do this. A lot of mothers would do this. This is, yeah. A lot of parents would, fathers would do this too. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, a lot of mothers would do this for their sons, no doubt about it. This is crazy. This is crazy. Yeah. This is unacceptable. We can't do this. Putting these people in harm's way like this. You can't be choosing your son. I would be damned. I would be damned. I'd have been like, go to a hotel or whatever. If you coming out, I'll pick you up from the airport. I'm cutting my son up. Like if my son's girlfriend or any woman tells me that my son has done this to her, he's done. He's done. I'm not supporting him anymore. I'm not communicating with him anymore. I'm siding with her. Bring my grandbabies out here. Y'all can come stay with us. He can't come around. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't worry. Like, I will protect you, no doubt about it. That's crazy. Like, we cannot. This cannot happen.
Oftentimes speak for him. So, and we found this out later on in the relationship that she would, say all these things. Oh, he's telling me to tell you he's so sorry. She would send flowers under his name. She was pretty obsessed. So she would do things to make me think that he cared, when actuality he was a piece of shit abuser and didn't give a fuck about anything really. So she's telling me like, no, he feels so bad, all of this stuff, right? And I'm like, listen, just please tell him to stop following the Uber. So we get to the airport, she's still calling, and I see him pull up behind the Uber, and there's police there and everything already, they're just for what they're doing at the airport. So she's like, listen, please, I don't want him to get arrested. You know that he already had a case out here. Do not, please, just get in the car with you. I promise he will not do anything to you. And I'm like, telling her I don't give a fuck. But at the same time, it's like almost like Stockholm syndrome. You really don't want anything to happen to this person because you think you love them, right? So eventually she talks me into getting into the car with him. And I'm like, look, I'm going to get in the back seat. Just please tell him, do not talk to me. Get me to the Airbnb. I want a flight out tomorrow. Please just do this for me. And she's like, okay, I promise he's not going to do anything. I'll tell him you're going to sit in the back seat. So I get in the back seat and we're driving, everything's silent. And the moment that we hit the end of being off of the airport property, he turns around and slaps the fuck out of me. And it's just like an instant realization of, what the fuck, you dumb bitch. Like talking to myself like, you are so fucking stupid. You really got into the car with this person after he just tried to strangle your ass and you thought that it was going to be any different. And I did, but it wasn't. So he proceeds to basically kidnap me for the night, drives me around the swamps of Carolina, and the entire time he's telling me he's going to kill me and that my mom will never find my body. So I'm just in a frenzy. I'm like crying, pleading. I still have a phone. This is what the fucked up crazy part is. This is how I know I was brainwashed, because I had a fucking phone. Bitch, call the police. It didn't happen. I'm like, pleading with him. I'm my mom's only daughter, all of this bullshit. And I call his mom because I'm thinking, okay, she's going to talk some sense into him. I don't want to send him to jail. But I just want to be safe. So I call her.
I wonder what he had a case for already. She said that he had a case out there already for what? Could it be like what? Like, this dude sounds like bad news all around.
He slaps the phone out of my hand, but she's still on the phone. I could see the phone with her name, and she's still sitting listening. And I'm like, telling her what he's saying. She can hear it, everything. And I'm like boo-hoo crying. So pretty much he ends up pulling over on the side of the road. And I never knew the name of this body of water until I started writing my book, and I had researched what body of water was next to the Wilmington airport, and it's called Cape Fear River. So that's where he intended to kill me and drop my body, supposedly. So pretty much I end up seeing the phone turn off, like the phone hang up. And it was the craziest thing in the world to me, because I'm thinking like, okay, she's gonna get help. She's gonna do something. And he ends up getting out of the car to come and I guess get a better grip on me. And when he does, I reach over to the front and I lock the door.
This is so sad because this could have all been avoided, and she tried really hard to escape, but Yeah. Like everybody, the mom failed her, but obviously mainly the son did. You know what I'm saying? The quintessential, narcissistic abuser, man. Just it's so rough listening to these stories sometimes, y'all. I can't. It's heavy. I ain't gonna even lie. But ultimately, like that type of controlling behavior it's a trend, and women again because the line is too fine. There's too thin of a line between the men that's just like I just don't like that versus the narcissistic men like in those two videos. So women can't really tell. So yeah, the safest bet because the majority of the time, if a man is saying that, and also I think the original man is also like what he was saying was he sounded just like a narc. Like, oh, you want to go out and be a hoe? What are you talking? It's always some like scare, some like shame tactic or whatever. If you truly were just, it was like something that you like a boundary for yourself, you would just express that to her and let her know, like, yo, I don't feel comfortable, yada yada yada. Like, I don't feel like you're like necessarily gonna do anything. I just don't feel comfortable. It makes me uncomfortable, for whatever reason, and you explain why or whatever. Right? You should be able to articulate the why and the what. But he couldn't do it, and he just instantly reverted to shaming tactics, which sounds like a fucking narcissist trying to control that woman. So yeah, if you don't want to be, you don't want to be viewed as a narc, then don't talk like a narc. If it walks like a duck and it talks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it's probably a fucking narcissist, right?